Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we are going to do Mind of Aurum Metallicum. So the theme is must perform the tasks which are impossible or much beyond his capacity. So Aurum is a syphilitic remedy. It is one of the heavy metals of the sixth period. In Aurum, the feeling is that the person must perform the tasks which are impossible or much beyond his capacity. So he demands for himself industry and responsibility, conscientiousness, and duty of highest degree, uncompromising principles or goals that are beyond the possible. So he almost destroys himself in trying to achieve these goals, because if he does not achieve them, he gets the feeling of failure, guilt, and despair of salvation. So it is as if his very survival depended on his ability to take on these huge responsibilities. So he is afraid of losing the confidence of others and of himself. So he has a feeling that he may fall down from this high position. This can make him suicidal. When Aurum gets suicidal thoughts, he does not have to fight with himself as Natram self does. So Aurum will make a decision and act. So he asks himself, do I jump or not? And if the answer is yes, he will jump. So Aurum people are highly moralistic, principled, and orthodox. However, sometimes it can work the other way around, that is, finding the task too high, and then Aurum becomes irresponsible and immoral. So, Aurum therefore has the polarity between high morality and extreme guilt and suicidal tendencies. So, he alternates between I am highly moral and I am highly immoral, and have sinned away the day of grace. So they are usually relieved tremendously by music. One of my early observation, writer says this, was that Aurum patient like to hear bhajans. So bhajans are Indian religious songs, so which are sung with lot of devotion. So the three components, religiousness, music amelioration, and exactness, are found in combination only in Aurum, and Aurum persons are almost the only people I have found to be markedly ameliorated from bhajan. So I was told by a musician, writer says this, that Tansen had composed Raga Darbari at the request of Emperor Akbar, who wanted a raga to alleviate the feeling of tremendous responsibility he faced and the despair it brought about in him at the end of the day. So the raga has tremendous depth, a feeling of great responsibility and hopelessness, which comes very close to Aurum. So the situational materia medica of Aurum is a situation in which his survival is dependent on this is fulfilling his duty. So Aurum is the eldest child of the family and his father is no more. So society will blame him if he does not take charge of his siblings. He raises the family, he is the duty bound son, his views are very moral. Aurum is concerned about how he appears to himself. He always checks whether he has done things right, since his survival depends on this and not on how he appears to others. So as it is seen in Silesia. So Aurum is also very adamant about principles. His value systems are very strict and he imposes the same values on other people. So there is that is described by the rubric dictatorial. So he is intolerant of contradiction. The first thing you will notice in an Aurum patient is that he is neat in appearance, conservatively dressed in an old fashion, sometimes with a religious mark on his forehead. So he is punctual in his appointments. His case form is very neatly and completely filled. He brings all his medical reports filed in sequence. On going through these records, we find that he has been checking up on his health very regularly. He is taking his medicines. He describes his elements correctly date wise and talks confidently, not too much and not too little. So in his work, he is very meticulous, careful about even the smallest of things. He is a perfectionist, will work late, check the last file, then count the last penny. He is duty conscious and will never rest until he has completed the day's work. He is very much trusted and valued by his employer and colleagues. since he is extremely hardworking, highly responsible, and honest. He does not seek money, power, or fame. He is happy to have done his duty. He values appreciation, but that is not the aim of his work. He has a strong sense of right or wrong, and the doings of others provoke his anger. So he is thus critical and sets very high standards for himself as well as for others. He will be very punctual and will expect you to be punctual too. If you delay him in your waiting room, he may burst in and demand that you keep the time. So he can be quarrelsome and reproachful. Aurum patients have fixed ideas about what their duties are. This generally depends on what they have been taught by their parents. So an Aurum person may have been taught that after he has fulfilled his responsibilities towards his family, he should turn to religion or some social services. So having educated and married his children, he devotes his time to religion or helping others. He does this more from a sense of duty than from sympathy or anxiety for others. Aurum can develop a very strong attachment to another person, often one much younger than himself. So writer says, I have seen such a parent-child relationships which develop with a person of the opposite sex, or it could be with his own child. So the attachment is so strong that he must see the other person every day, hear that person's voice, etc. So the affection goes hand in hand with expecting the other person to obey and to act according to his wishes. So, such relationships probably represent the Aurum need to be a parent to someone. So, it is when the other person rebels, in other words, refuses to be parented anymore, that time Aurum becomes heartbroken. He experiences mortification, anger, with indignation, tremendous depression, sadness, forsaken feeling, disappointment, and he feels that life is not worth living anymore. He can become suicidal at this stage. He totally withdraws and becomes highly irritable. He often talks in a question answer form. So he is easily disappointed with others just as with himself. So physically, Aurum person tend to develop serious chronic problems such as hypertension, heart diseases, some destructive pathologies, or cancer. So I have observed that many Aurum patients have a knobby nose, tip, and have fear of high places. Thank you.